Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in. When we think about building a powerful, booming economy, our minds almost automatically jump to physical infrastructure, right? We picture massive highways, bustling factories, maybe some gleaming skyscrapers. But a true, sustainable economy, it isn't just built on concrete and steel. It is fundamentally built on its people. Today, we're looking at how a state actually engineers its human capital, specifically focusing on the social infrastructure of Maharashtra.
Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the foundation, social infrastructure. Number 2, the first pillar, education ladder. 3, education for all. And finally, 4, the second pillar, healthcare pyramid. Let's get to it.
All right, Section 1, the foundation, social infrastructure.
To start, we kind of have to shift our mindset. Social infrastructure isn't just a byproduct of economic wealth, it's actually a catalyst for it. We're talking about things like literacy programs, education, public health, housing, and even basic drinking water and sanitation. These aren't just your standard public services. They are the absolute bedrock of human quality of life. Think about it. By improving this baseline quality, you literally give citizens the power to produce knowledge, which in turn stimulates broader economic development for everyone.
And here is exactly why this matters so much right now. In the present scenario, India is riding the wave of its highest demographic dividend. Basically, that means we have a massive percentage of young people in our population. A young population is a phenomenal engine for growth, but, and this is a big but, only if they are healthy and educated. This makes investing in social infrastructure not just a nice-to-have, but an absolute urgent priority at both the national and state levels.
Moving right along to Section 2, the first pillar, education ladder. In our country, the educational framework is built, well, literally like a ladder. It carefully guides a citizen from early childhood right through to specialized adulthood. It's broken down into 4 critical steps: primary, secondary, and higher education. And each step up that ladder requires its own highly targeted strategies and immense state resources to function effectively. Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about here, during the 2016 to 2017 period, the state government spent, get this, a staggering 19,486 crore rupees, and that was on primary education alone. This massive investment was driven by the right to education, providing free and compulsory education for kids in the 6 to 14 age group under the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan.
So, what does that kind of money actually support? Well, in 2016-17, across nearly 1.05 lakh primary schools, enrollment hit over 1.59 crore students. It's just a mind-boggling volume. To manage that incredible influx of young minds, the state employed over 5.3 lakh teachers, which keeps the pupil-teacher ratio right around 30-1. I mean, that is human capital formation on an absolute industrial scale.
Steadily moving up the ladder, let's look at secondary and higher secondary education. Driven by the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, which aims to improve both access and quality, we see over 25,000 schools catering to this segment. In 2016-17, there were over 66 lakh students enrolled here, backed by an investment of over 16,000 crore rupees. The state is essentially ensuring that the massive foundation built in primary school isn't lost, getting these students fully prepped for higher, specialized learning.
Reaching the top of the ladder, higher education branches out. This is where we create the specialized human resources absolutely necessary for overall economic development. It's fascinating how the state's 22 public universities are strategically divided to meet distinct economic needs. So 15 of them handle general courses, but the state specifically dedicates 4 universities to agriculture, and 1 each for health science, veterinary science, and technology. It's a very targeted approach, aligning what schools output directly with what industries actually demand.
But hey, just having universities isn't enough anymore, especially in a world driven by rapid globalization and technological change. To keep pace, the state enacted the new Maharashtra Public Universities Act in 2016. This focuses heavily on academic autonomy, excellence, and skill-based education. On top of that, Maharashtra actually became the very first state in the country to receive a 20 crore rupee grant under the National Ruza scheme. This grant is specifically for setting up innovation and technology transfer hubs, basically turning these universities into active engines of modern research.
Section 3. Education for all. But look, a ladder is completely useless if people can't even reach the bottom rung, right? Building a demographic dividend means you literally cannot afford to leave any segment of your population behind. So the state actively promotes targeted initiatives to bridge that access gap. For instance, they prioritize girls' education by offering free schooling up to the higher secondary level, providing free state transport bus services in rural areas, and even handing out bicycles to needy girls living within 5 kilometers of their schools. For tribal students, the government runs 556 aided residential ashram schools. These provide free accommodation, food, and uniforms, so students can just focus entirely on learning. Add in community-driven adult literacy programs like Sakshar Bharat Abhiyan and specific frameworks for differently abled children, and you start to see this comprehensive safety net designed to catch and elevate literally every citizen.
All right, Section 4. The second pillar, healthcare pyramid.
Education is fantastic, but it's pretty useless if the population isn't healthy enough to utilize it. So the state organizes its healthcare infrastructure as a three-tier pyramid. It's designed to provide comprehensive coverage that scales up based on the severity of the medical need. First, you have the primary tier acting as the initial point of contact right in the communities. Then, the secondary tier provides more advanced care at the district level. Finally, the tertiary tier features highly equipped medical colleges and super specialty hospitals in major cities for complex treatments.
What's really interesting about this overall health strategy is that it doesn't just treat illnesses after they happen, it actively targets the root causes of poor health. Through both the National Rural Health Mission and the National Urban Health Mission, the state works on core health determinants. This means going way beyond just doctors and medicine to heavily emphasize sanitation, hygiene, nutrition, and getting safe drinking water across both rural and urban landscapes.
Now, at the very foundation of this healthcare pyramid, forming the critical first line of defense, are 1,814 primary health centers, and those are supported by 360 community health centers operating all across the state as of early 2017. These centers are truly the unsung heroes of social infrastructure. They ensure that even in the most remote, hard-to-reach areas, basic healthcare, hygiene education, and early interventions are constantly accessible. They are what keep the broader workforce healthy, active, and productive.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this explainer. We've just explored this massive ladder of education and this highly structured pyramid of healthcare. These aren't just basic social services. They're calculated, long-term economic investments. So I want to leave you with this thought to chew on. If social infrastructure gives citizens the power to produce knowledge and stay healthy, just how much faster will the economy grow as this highly supported, educated demographic dividend fully matures and enters the workforce? The link between investing in human beings today and achieving true economic dominance tomorrow, it's absolutely undeniable. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.